You are logged on and listening to the Computer Corner Show, brought to you by Computer Corner, your local resource for computer hardware, software, services, and training since 1983. Computer Corner is high-tech with a human touch. This is Phil Shortell, your host and the lead instructor at Computer Corner, and with me here today, as is the norm, are both the owners of Computer Corner, Carol and Joe Petronovich, and good morning to you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, if your backbone is broken, your BitLocker is busted, or your bus is buggy, let us help you with your computer questions and problems.
Thanks for listening to the Computer Corner Show.
If you are also a client of Computer Corner, we appreciate your supporting us and buying locally.
We
Very
sure
important
do.
for everyone.
Absolutely. Computer Corner is located at 3101 Manal Northeast, which is about 2 blocks west of Carlisle. We moved quite a while ago, but some people haven't come in yet to see our beautiful new showroom. We just love it, and frankly, there is nothing like it anywhere in the state.
It is really a beautiful thing. There's no question about that. If you need computer products or services, we're open today until 5 p.m., and we're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. to serve you. We also provide on-site technical service to your home or business within about a 40-mile radius of Albuquerque, which would include Rio Rancho, Placitas, Bernalillo, the Tejeras Canyon area, and actually much more than that.
Much more. So our topics on the Computer Corner Show are frequently about trends that we're seeing in our service department. And this time, we want to talk about what you should do if you spill something on your laptop or desktop keyboard.
Obviously, your desktop keyboard is not as big an issue because desktop keyboards are typically relatively inexpensive and easy to replace unless you have a fancy gaming or ergonomic keyboard. So we'll logically focus on what you should do if you spill anything on your laptop keyboards.
Over the past few months, we've seen literally dozens of laptops come into the Computer Corner shop with a variety of different liquids spilled on their keyboards.
And if treated properly and quickly, you have a pretty good chance of saving your laptop. However, we've seen a consistent theme of how people tend to react under this circumstance. And of course, the reason they're at our service center and we're seeing them is because whatever they tried, it did not work.
That's right, unfortunately for them. In almost every situation, the individual had tried to power on their system after merely towel drying the system off.
And sometimes without even bothering to do that.
Right. So this is probably the worst thing you can do at all. Your system must be completely dry inside and outside before you attempt to power up
now,
again.
If you've gotten liquids inside your laptop, it may actually take several days to dry, not just overnight. So you'll not only need to follow the advice we're about to give you, but you also need to be patient.
That's right. Many of the people that we've seen recently with dead laptops actually started out down the right path, but they didn't let their system dry thoroughly inside before they powered on again, and that's what ultimately damaged or even destroyed their laptops.
Yeah, if you spill liquid in your laptop, immediately turn it off and disconnect it from anything else that it's connected to. Now, especially the power adapter and even any USB drive or drives that are connected.
And then, depending upon how much you spilled, drain the liquid by turning the unit upside down, towel dry what you can on the outside, and remove the battery. Now we can understand how it might seem like a good idea, but do not use a hairdryer. It might result in static electricity, which is a huge issue.
What's a hairdryer? Oh, never mind.
Never mind. Well, maybe you...
Also, do not use canned or compressed air to try to dry it out because you could be forcing the liquid into other parts of the laptop, like your motherboard. This is an issue because some of the online posts you see tell people to use canned air. Please don't do that. You will quite possibly be very sorry if you do.
If there's other components that you can remove from your laptop, like memory, you should also do that. But not many laptops are easy to get into, and unless you really know what you're doing in this area, again, you may be very sorry that you tried that.
Yeah, after towel drying and removing the battery and anything connected that you can confidently disconnect yourself, turn your laptop over and let it drain and dry out as much as possible. As we mentioned earlier, this may take days, not hours. So patience here is indeed a virtue.
Or, of course, you can bring it into Computer Corner, where our highly trained and experienced staff will disassemble your laptop and dry it fully before they attempt to power it on.
But if you have spilled a cola beverage in your laptop, the likelihood of it surviving is unfortunately small. After all, you can use colas to tenderize meat and to clean that porcelain convenience in your home, if you get my drift.
So they say, but I have personally only used it to tenderize meat, but I'm sure everyone has gotten that message by now.
And any and all other sweetened beverages are also not as easy to clean as plain water, black coffee, and unsweetened tea. And if you're unlucky enough to have doused your laptop with a pina colada, you probably should just make yourself another one, drink it, and then think about happier times.
Okay, then.
Yeah. If a new computer is in your future...
If you're planning on buying a Windows-based computer, we strongly suggest that you do not buy one with Windows 10 Home version.
Now, the reason for that is the Windows 10 Home version will not allow you to join a network, set up a group policy statement, use BitLocker or to encrypt your data for security, or use one of my favorite features, Remote Desktop, which allows you to access your home computer from another computer or even your smartphone. But even more than that, Windows 10 Home will not give you the ability to block updates unless you also purchase a third-party application to do this.
So if you're planning on buying a Windows computer, be sure to opt for Windows 10 Pro, or more properly, Windows 10 Professional, 64-bit, not 32-bit.
Right.
So you want Windows 10 Pro 64-bit.
And in addition to Windows 10 Pro 64-bit, you'll want to get at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's amazing when you think about that. You know, when we started this stuff, how much RAM there was in these things.
Right.
Not 4 gigabytes. The lower price may tempt you to opt for Windows 10 Home and 4 gigabytes of memory, but you'll be sorry you did that, and will probably be spending your hard-earned money to upgrade later on.
I think that would probably be true.
John, you're on the air, and what can we do for you?
Hi, I've got a problem with my Yoga 3 laptop. It's 4 years old. It's got an i5 chip that was still pretty fast today, along with a solid-state drive. But I'm telling you, it has been so corrupted by, you know who's out there, that no matter what I do to clean it off, when I get a warning from Microsoft, and then I've called the number, and of course you get the people out there that want to charge you $299, $499,
right,
or $599.
That's really not Microsoft,
No, it's not.
It's just,
you're just getting a number to the people that want to resolve your problem and say you got to change. You can't go get another computer because you'll have the same address, which is not true. So I was thinking either throwing this away and getting another one, or bringing it to a shop like yours and having it cleaned out, because it's 70% corrupted with stuff over 4 or 5 years.
That is something that we do for people. We've done it many times in the past, and the reason we can do things that you can't do is we're going to take yours apart and then connect you to one of our safe systems and run all kinds of stuff against it.
But it might actually need a whole operating system reload to resolve the problem. How old did you say it was?
4.
4?
It's about 5 years old.
Okay. It's getting toward the end of a useful life as well. So I'd hate to have you spend a lot of money on a operating system reload. Joe, you had a...
John, what OS are you running?
Windows?
I'm running Microsoft 10 Home.
Okay. Shoot.
Windows 10.
You've got a very decent processor there, and if you haven't got 8 gig of RAM, I'd upgrade that to 8, and I would put a fresh load of Windows 10 Pro 64-bit on that machine. It'll act like a brand new one, if not better than when you bought it.
Maybe even get a brand new SSD type drive.
Well, he's got an SSD.
Oh, he's got an SSD. Okay.
The question for you is, how much data do you have on there, and have you been listening to us when we harp on the idea of backing up? Now, true, if you've got some corruptions, your backup could be corrupted too.
I'm afraid it probably is. And the screen does have a crack in it, so to repair that and maybe to have you guys do what you do, it'd be better just to get one.
So here's the thing. You can bring it into us. For $25, we'll diagnose it for you, and we'll tell you how much it's going to cost. And, to replace your screen, to fix the hard drive, maybe reload the operating system, then it might be easier to make a decision about whether you want to invest in your older system or buy a new one.
Yeah, you'll get an honest appraisal about what the right thing for you would be, not the right thing for anybody else. And John, by any chance, you're a veteran?
No, I'm not.
The reason Phil's asking that is that veterans all get a free diagnostic exam at Computer Corner, but you can also get a free diagnostic exam if you go out to our website, which is www.compcorner.com. compcorner.com and sign up for our e-newsletter. You can also just Google Computer Corner Albuquerque and you'll go right to our website there. If you want to sign up for our newsletter, you'll get a coupon for a free diagnostic exam at Computer Corner. You have to go down to the bottom of our homepage to get to the sign-up sheet or page.
So I would say if to paraphrase somebody, use this remark, if you like your laptop, you can keep it. I would just refurbish that with the i5 processor. I think you'd be happy.
Okay. All righty.
It's worth a try, and it's going to be free if you go to the website, and that would work for anybody else too. By the way, it's not just for John.
Absolutely.
If you go to our website and sign up for the newsletter, which does not come 3 times a day or even 3 times a week, it just comes out when we have something to say. You can get yourself a free diagnostic. Are you still there, John, or was that noise the sound of the death? Yeah, that was the sound of the death ray. From wherever.
Yes, it was. I think he's gone. We also take your questions anytime by getting those via email. And the email address for that is radio show, which is all one word, at compcorner.com. So you can email us your questions anytime, and we'd be happy to help you.
So there are other things that we can tell you about, too. We were talking about Windows 10, and not everybody who has Windows 10 really knows how to operate it. If you'd like something more in-depth as far as learning how to use Windows 10, hey, guess what? We do a Windows 10 class.
It's called Become a Pro at Windows 10, in fact. Mm-hmm. And we have a BOGO, a buy one, get one free special going on right now. So for $39.99, 2 people can attend the class. And for only $24.99, a single person, and that's not referring to their marital status, but
that's right.
A single individual can attend the class for $24.99. And it's a 2-hour class, but you'd learn a lot in 2 hours, and it's definitely worth that investment of time.
And I promise you that there are wonderful things you're missing in this still relatively new operating system. Kim.
Well, I am a tax accountant, and I have several locations, and I have some ancient computers, circa 2010.
Wow.
And yeah, they're, I just would really like to squeeze one more year out of them. I did update them to Windows 10.
Okay.
And I have increased their RAM, so none of them have less than 4 gigs of RAM. I almost said 4 megs of RAM because I've been around computers a long time.
We understand how that happens, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the new tax software is all internet-based.
Sure.
And they've done a lot of things to secure it and blah, blah, blah. I think I'm satisfied with the security on it. But they just came out with something that I needed to go to 64-bit processors. Or
operating system.
And does that seem reasonable to you? Or do you think I could squeeze another year out of it?
Well, if the software says it requires 64-bit, I would...
you have no choice.
You have no choice.
You're not going to be able to download it and use it.
Oh, you don't download it. It's a website. I'm like, why are you people bothering me?
No.
Just the screen.
They tell you it's web-based, which it is. However, it's going to be running on your computer.
Right. A little kernel, I guess you could say, is going to be downloaded that'll allow you to interface in the cloud.
And that's why they're making a stipulation that it needs to be 64-bit, because it needs to access that kernel on your particular desktop.
Oh, that is terrible news. It's not only do I have to buy them from the corporate vendor, but I have to install all of the ancient tax softwares, which were more traditional software.
You have to buy you have to buy the new machines from that vendor?
Yes.
Are you sure?
That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, they just make a rule. They won't support it if you don't. And
they won't support the software at all if you don't buy your equipment from them? Yikes.
Right. Imagine if you had to support 5,000 offices, you'd want to have some kind of similarity in the
hardware. But it sounds more like they'd rather have some kind of similarity in all the green that comes in.
I think that too. I do. I think that too. But replacing them at all under any circumstances, putting all those from 2005 forward softwares on 20 computers sounds horrible.
No,
they're not. They're 2010, but the software goes back to 2005. IRS sometimes asks for it.
Is this software called CP AIDS?
No, it's called Phoenix, and it's a Liberty Tax custom software. Killer, actually.
Okay, I'm afraid we don't have if they really are insisting that you buy the machines from them, that almost seems antitrust type stuff.
Well, that used to be an issue several years ago where everybody was selling the hardware along with their software, and then people quickly got away from that because those vendors were losing business. I'm surprised that's happening in the tax business.
That we may be able to do something different this year, but man, I don't want to buy 20 new computers.
Right.
Well, if you do, I know where you can get them.
And I don't want to load old-fashioned software onto 20 computers.
Sure.
Right.
That's what I really don't want to do. I'll die.
Oh.
But I will look at that and see whether, because I bet I could get you guys to load 20 computers.
Absolutely.
We can help. I would look more into some other software. In fact, I'll call my brother who's a CPA in Gallup. I'll see what he's doing. I guarantee
it's not like I have an option. I'm a franchisee. I don't have options.
Got it.
Oh, that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, sorry about that, but look at it this way. Your best season of the year is coming.
It's going to be a fabulous year because it's really confusing.
Good for you.
I mean, it's really a lot of change this year. A lot of good change, but really hard to understand. So,
I'm glad I'm not a CPA.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your call, Kim. We wish we had better news for you.
Good luck.
But yes, we can definitely help with reloading your software.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I might even hire you if I have to buy theirs.
Sure.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
We can do it.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to help.
Thanks again for your
I
call.
don't want to do that. Bye-bye.
Will, are you there?
This may be a very different topic than you were thinking of talking about today, and tell me so if that's so. What do you know, or what can you tell us about private or individual hardware wallets for digital currency?
We can tell you a lot.
Yes.
Well,
hang on here. We're just gonna put on that special hat of
Well,
his.
obviously,
Mining rig hat.
obviously the hardware wallets are the best way to go versus the online or web wallets or soft wallets. There's a couple on the market. One is called a Trezor, which is what I use, Trezor. It's very, very safe. The other is called a Ledger. It's also safe, but a little more complicated to use. I found the Trezor easier to open and transfer to and from.
Is the treasure or Trezor a play on the word treasure?
I would guess.
I don't know. Could be.
Okay. I mean, Ledger is obvious enough, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I'm asking is a friend of mine sent me a little sale notice for the Ledger Nano S that just expired a couple of days ago. It's just a very short little sale.
When I was looking into these to save what I've acquired, I watched several YouTubes on both of them, and I was really turned off by the enormous learning and frustration that existed with the Nano Ledger. It just seemed really, really too complicated to store your data. And I thought, if I've got this much trouble getting stuff into this thing, how much trouble am I going to have getting it out?
Right.
So that's why I just went to the Trezor. And now the Trezor's doing more coins almost every month. They're adding more and more storage capability for other coins.
And when you say storage capability, do you mean number of different types of coins,
Yes.
or do you mean
Yes.
volume?
No, types of coins.
Yeah, the volume would not be an issue anywhere, pretty much.
Right.
And now
Okay.
there's a third hardware wallet. Man, I cannot remember what it's called. The nice thing about it was it doesn't attach to your computer through your USB cable, which people are saying that's unsafe. This one links through Bluetooth to your phone to connect.
Joe, I'm looking at a DuckDuckGo search for Trezor, and I got a whole bunch on that. And
Yeah.
The one you're not recalling?
I am recalling it now. It's called the Kobo Vault Military Grade Cryptocurrency Wallet.
COBO?
COBO.
And Storm Door Company.
Now, it's not cheap. It's the introductory price on this is $299 versus $90 for the Trezor. So I probably, I'm not going to get all weirded out about connecting it to a USB and a safe computer. I would just go with the Treasure for right now. You can always upgrade to this thing later.
Wonderful. Thank you for the info.
Well, thank you very much for that, and I'm very glad we could answer that for you.
Me
right.
too.
You have a
Thank
wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Enjoy questions like that.
Yeah, stuff that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We like them whether they're the same or we like them if they're different. We like them if they're hard. We like them if they're soft. And that brings us to Bill to see what kind of a question Bill has for us today.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Doing great so far.
I have a question that's probably been answered a dozen times. In my email, I won't say what brand it is. I don't think you're supposed to. But I get 25 to 70 spams almost daily.
That's all?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Is there any program or another email provider that can give you a way to block this stuff?
Not unless you're willing to pay for it. That seems
Well, that might be worth it.
Well, that seems to be the case anymore because there's people out there like Barracuda Networks and even CenturyLink and Quest, Comcast. They can take care of a lot of this stuff, but it's going to be added to your bill. It's just another service. So you've got to ask, where is this stuff coming from? Maybe it's coming from them to generate business. Who knows? But, it's gotten very bad over the last several weeks.
Well, I don't see any end to it. I guess
You're right.
It's going to get any worse. I'm just going to give up the email.
Well, it's kind of hard to do that sometimes because we're so used to it and we get so many things that we do want over the emails.
Yeah, but sometimes starting fresh is a good thing.
You think maybe changing the email address might slow them down?
It'll buy you time before it finally tracks you down through the computerized generation of all this stuff to find you again. Sure.
I guess the government's not going to do anything to help get this thing taken care of, are they?
Well, it's a complicated thing, and I'm not so sure I would want the government involved in that anyway.
Do we want the government involved in anything?
Yeah, we do. We do in some things,
Carol and I were talking about this morning. It's easier to find a mail bomber right now within days than locking down and finding these people that are pumping out all this spam and shutting them down. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be easier than what we had to do to find the mail bomber.
Well, I think you guys have defined the problem, and there's not much of a good answer.
No, but
have a wonderful day.
Take a shot at changing your email address. Yeah. Make sure you send the new one out to everybody on your list.
I only have a few that I really like, my doctor and a couple others.
Oh,
so maybe that's the most logical thing to do.
Sure.
Yeah. Create a new Gmail account, or better yet, for even lower spam, do your email on a Pronto mail site, Pronto mail.
Okay.
And that's free also. So look that up and use that.
Okay,
I'll
Bill?
do that.
I bet you that was of interest to a lot of people out there.
Yep.
Great question, and I bet that's one on many people's minds.
It certainly is because, I went through just last week and signed myself out of 50, at least, different things that were sending me things, and now there are 50 new ones. Yep. Mark, how can we help you on this wonderful day?
I've got a quick question for you, but before that, because I never heard of it, I wanted to ask, what is Pronto Mail?
Pronto Mail is another secured email service that they do something with hiding. They attempt to hide your IP address so that you don't get as much spam and as much garbage as regular mail. That's about really all I can tell you. You can probably Google most of that, but it's a more secure delivery system if you want to remain anonymous.
Mm-hmm. And do you pay for it?
No, it's free.
Okay, I'll look it up.
Well worth it.
Now,
worth it.
I've got to say, I'm pretty sure it's Pronto Mail. It may be Photon Mail. I think it's
I asked you about that a couple of months ago, and you told me Pronto, and I think I looked it up.
I think it is Pronto. So, yeah, it's a free site. I'm probably going to start using that myself and start transitioning over because I'm just getting way too much spam and everything.
And it is Pronto Mail. I've just verified it, and it says free encrypted email.
Very good. Yeah. Go for it.
Anything else we can do for you, Mark?
Yeah, quick one to that last gentleman's call is, and I know you guys have said this for years, but he may not have heard it, which is keep a separate, Gmail account for all the stuff you don't really care
That's
about.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
And that way you can close it when it gets to be a bear. and just start fresh, but it doesn't. That way it funnels most of the bad stuff to an account you don't care about.
Good recommendation. Good recommendation, Mark. Thank you for that. A lot of people out there should know that. Everybody should have a throwaway email address.
Yeah. So my question today is a harder one in my experience. I follow all the stuff that you folks recommend. I've got all the software you folks recommend. But Internet Explorer just seems to struggle these days. I'm using Windows 7 64-bit, and it's Internet Explorer 11. And honest to God, half the time it seems like that poor browser is just barely keeping its head above water.
Microsoft has been trying to kill IE for the last 2 years. It is on life support now, and everyone is just going to have to get off of it. I mean, that's the reality of the whole situation.
You might want to think about, since 7's life cycle is coming to an end too, you might consider that going to Windows 10 and using Microsoft Edge, which really has some nifty features in it.
I've played with it, but I'm dragging my feet.
I'm just like you. I liked IE.
So did I.
I liked the toolbar up on top. It's hard to change.
And the thing is, I think I can speak honestly for all three of us in this room. None of us would be at the cutting edge of things if it weren't our business.
Yeah.
When you find something and you like it, stick with it. We understand that. Okay.
But now I use Edge, Firefox, and Chrome.
Yeah.
Sometimes one website won't work, and I go to another browser.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I use 3 and then keep one little old one that's for special circumstances. So I get that. But I was just curious if anybody had tripped over anything. And, Carol, when you say Chrome, whose are you using?
Google Chrome.
Google's?
Google Chrome.
I'm sorry, I have a problem with that just because they're nosy into everything.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, yeah.
That's not my preferred one. I sort of like Firefox, but since I upgraded to Windows 10, I'm getting used to Edge and starting to like that quite a bit.
Okay.
All righty, folks.
Thanks for your call, Mark. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I want to ask everyone a question. I'll ask you.
Okay.
What do Apple, HP, and Microsoft have in common with Computer Corner? Obviously,
they all build computers.
Well, yeah, that's true. But what, in addition to that, do Apple, HP, and Microsoft have in common with Computer Corner?
I don't know.
We all started our business in a garage. Yeah.
Okay, so there's something for you, huh?
Just a little tidbit.
Yeah.
But
And
we're not in a garage anymore. We're at 3101 Manal.
If it were a garage, boy, would it be a nice garage. I could go for a garage. It'd be like the garage of, what's his name, Hara. Jay Leno or Hara in Reno.
Yeah.
Sure. Those are some nice garages. Hey, did you know that, by the way, the Computer Corner is the longest-lived computer store in New Mexico?
It's true. So one of the other things that we want to mention is that we do recycling at Computer Corner, of course. And we will take all electronic equipment, even batteries and cell phones and things like that. But we can't take those old-style CRT or TVs, old TVs.
They were dangerous.
Projection TVs.
Right, or projection TVs. Because there's some certain laws in New Mexico about recycling those things.
By the way, one other thing, because it happened to somebody else this week. If your computer has ever started a Microsoft update, please don't interrupt it or shut it down, even if it's taking a long time, because then it's going to take you a longer time to get back after you pulled all the hair out of your head. Okay, you don't want to do that anyway.
Then you'll look like Phil.
Okay. Hey, the Computer Corner show will be back in 2 weeks. Till then, we hope that you'll think of Computer Corner for all your hardware, software, services, and training needs. Remember,
you get more at the corner. Computer Corner.
So until that time, please mind your bits and bytes. This is Phil.
And Carol.
Wishing you carefree computing. The Computer Corner show is logging off.